Hey, what's happening? This is your host Tinto, and before we get started on this week's episode, I'd like to give you an update on the campaign to 4,000 coffees. I'm proud and very proud to tell you that we have smashed the first 100 coffees target and are doing an amazing 124 as you listen to this. That's 124 steps closer to the dream, so don't stop what you're doing and continue to give as your spirit leads. And now it's time for me to give shout outs to everybody that got me coffees, starting with you, Tobe. Thank you so much. 3 coffees and your comment there reads, a little something to say thank you for the lessons, the drama and the laughs. Keep me entertained here in Venice, Italy. Yay! And then No Tea. Hey, thank you, man. 5 generous coffees there. And your comment reads, keep on doing what you're doing. We're learning a lot from the podcast. And then I got Cheapo. Thank you so much. A generous coffee there from you. And the comment there reads, thanks for keeping me occupied during COVID lockdown. Hey, that's a while back, but thanks. And then, Fadzi, I see you, man. Thank you so much. That's 5 generous coffees. And your comment there reads, congratulations on hitting the 4-year mark. Your show is my ultimate go-to, akin to a reliable friend. Man, that's powerful. And then a very interesting way to learn real-life lessons. Here's to many more years of insightful episodes. Keep up the great work and keep those episodes coming. I sure will. And then I got someone who gave me 10 generous coffees. I really wish I knew who you were. And your comment there reads, 4 years is a big deal, my friend. Sending lots of love from the sand pit. I wish I knew who these guys were. Melanated Laura coming through again. 4 generous coffees, and your comment there reads, 4 coffees for 4 years. Thank you for this amazing pod and well done, Tinto. Man, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And then next up to my big sister Wenkosi. Hey man, 4 generous coffees. Thank you. And your comment there reads, a coffee for each year. More to come as the episodes keep coming. Thank you so much for this podcast, and constantly reminds me why Mjolo is not my portion. Hey, sis, we need to have a chat. We need to change that one. And then another generous 3 coffees came from somebody anonymous, and your comment there reads, happy 4th birthday to our favorite podcast. Man, thank you so much. And then we got, hey Paida, hey, 4 generous coffees again. Your comment there reads, happy. Long time listener, first time supporter. Here's to many more years of providing life lessons. Man, you guys are amazing, man. Thank you so much. Cindy Washe, hey man, what's happening here? Hey, I don't know what to say. 10 solid coffees again. And your comment there reads, happiest of birthdays to the best podcast. Man, this is super special. Thank you. Tichitre Bogus, man, good to have you back. You've been coming through bit by bit. Really appreciate you coming through. Shared a coffee and didn't share a comment. Hey, what's happening there? And then I have another 3 generous coffees that have come from somebody called A. Wow. Now this is a long one. I might need to pause the music. Hi Tinto. I've been a listener for a couple of years, but in the past 2 months, your show has become an even more significant part of my life. This is for your eyes only. Oops. Okay. Oh man, I need to cut the music here. Somebody gave me 3 generous coffees, and I was in the middle of reading what I felt was a generous and really incredible commentary, only to get to the end and the message there says for your eyes only. So I'm afraid I can't read that, but all I can say is thank you for your generous coffees. And then we have another 5 generous coffees again from someone who remained anonymous. And the comment there reads, going to and from work is amazing because I get to hear your voice. Don't be making boys blush in 2024. It's not a cute look, man, but thank you. And then I got another 5 generous coffees for Ndini Anonimadi. Okay. Eureka Pa Coffee. Yay, thank you so much. Episode Yanubia Nakaya rendered me speechless. Man, you can say that again. It's one of the few that I didn't know what to say. Man, what a heap of coffees. And that really just made this moment for me. So if you'd like to give to the podcast in a similar manner, please head over to www.buymeacoffee.com/feeling station and give as your spirit leads. Remember, there's nothing too small to support the podcast that you have grown to love. With that out of the way, let's get into this week's episode. And because there is threats of sexual violence, I encourage those that may be triggered to perhaps skip this one and wait for future episodes coming. Peace.
Is that a breakup? I think we have a situation right here. On the Feeling Station.
This is the part where you say hello.
Hello.
How can the phone ring and you don't even say hello? What's that about?
You call me. You have to say hello first.
Anyway, welcome to the Feeling Station.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
For those listening to the podcast for the first time, it's a romantic family and friendship breakup podcast showcasing stories that people would like to talk about with a view to give lessons from their experiences. I hope you find today's story entertaining, but more importantly, meaningful. Now, the podcast is popular for two main reasons. The first being I do my best to keep you, my guest, anonymous. So I'm going to give you a name that comes from East Africa, right?
Okay.
And the name that I've chosen for you today is Halima, which is Halima. Halima.
Halima,
Yeah.
M-A. Okay.
And what
okay.
that means is somebody who's gentle, humane, and kind.
Aww.
And what are you going to call the person you're talking about today? I'm assuming it's a male.
I'm going to call the guy Warlord.
Warlord! Choose violence.
Yes.
You come onto the podcast and you choose violence with the Warlord.
He chose violence. So I'm going to call him Warlord.
Yeah. Okay, so this story is about Warlord and Halima. And the second reason why the podcast is really popular is there are real life lessons that people learn from the story that you're going to share today. So, what lessons do you have for those listening?
Okay, so I've got 4 lessons.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is ignoring red flags because you want to see the good and people will cost you later.
Yep. That happens all the time.
The second one is if you don't have boundaries, you're going to be demolished.
Hey, by the warlords. and lesson number 3?
Then lesson number 3 is there are limits to empathy and compassion.
Hey, that is very true. And last but not least?
Then the last lesson is resentment can poison a relationship.
Yeah. And do you know what? That normally happens when those limits for empathy and compassion have been exhausted and you've gone beyond the boundaries that have now demolished you. I like those lessons.
Yeah.
I'll play those back. Number 1, ignoring red flags because you want to see the good in people will cost you later. Number 2, if you don't have boundaries, you will be demolished. Number 3, there are limits to empathy and compassion. And then number 4, resentment can poison a relationship. Yeah?
Yep.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into it, Halima. Where did you meet Warlord and why did you decide, this is the guy that I want to be with?
Okay, so I met Warlord almost a year ago at this other place where they do some documents for foreigners, right? So he was there to submit his, and I was also there to go fix my own.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we meet, then we exchange numbers because Warlord can speak the language of this country that we at right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't. So I was like impressed, like, oh, wow, how long have you been here? Like you speak this language so fluently, like things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then that's how he's like, after the conversation, he's like, oh, can I please have your number? We can be friends, blah, 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 blah. Then I'm like, okay, it's all right. Then we exchange numbers. Then fast forward, okay, me and Warlord, we've gotten like 8-year gap.
8-year gap?
Right? Yeah.
Okay. He's older or you're older?
Yeah, he's older.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So fast forward, I would like get regular invites to his place. Oh, can you please come see me? Do you want to come over? So sometimes I'll turn them down. Sometimes I'll just be like, I'm bored. I'm not doing anything. So let me just go.
And you're going there as a friend who's just hanging out with another friend, right? At this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a friend hanging out with another friend. Because pretty much nothing happened except for once. When I visited when I was drunk, I had a friend who stayed close by. He's like just a few minutes away from his house. Then I got drunk. We're like actually texting. Then it's like, do you mind coming over? Then I'm like, no. Then I went. he attempted to kiss me. Then I'm like, nah, dude, nah, not today, because I'm actually drunk. And then I rushed and said, oh, I'm on my periods anyway.
Ah.
Just so one thing don't lead to another. Because with these things, like, so it was just another way of saying, no, don't take things too far.
Right. Okay.
You get it? So the first red flag that I got, you see, this person is like more or less, he's like asking you out at the same time you kind of hanging out as friends. But his intention is to make you his girlfriend. So the first red flag that I got was he would like randomly call me out of the blue or just text and be wanting my intention. But then I wouldn't like reply like that soon, like whenever I get his text.
Like immediately, yeah.
Immediately, yeah. Then I saw a text from him. He's like, oh, so you're busy being available for people that don't care about you, yet I'm here always texting you and calling you, and you still treat me like nothing. Mind you, my friend was not feeling well, so she was like, dude, can you accompany me to the hospital? So pretty much the whole time he was busy texting, calling, and I was ignoring. I was at the hospital with my friend.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then I'm like, okay. Then I blocked him. I was like, I cannot take this because you didn't even ask me like, okay, dude. I mean, like, you are still asking me out. You cannot expect me to be like always there. Because imagine if I was to respond to all the guys' texts that are asking me out and be taking their calls, where would I be right now? Exactly. So I blocked him. Then 1 week passed, 2 weeks passed. I think on the third week, then that's when I just remembered, oh, there's that guy. I was drunk again.
Okay.
It's like, okay, there's that guy. And then I unblocked him. The moment I said hi, he's like, oh, it's you. I thought you had blocked me. I said, nah, chill, stop being dramatic. I had blocked you. That was then, but now I've unblocked you. And he's like, oh, how are you? I missed you, blah, blah, blah. Then that's when things started again, right?
When you say things started again, what things?
Like the friendship, whatever that we had going on before. So we just took off where we left things the last time. Like being friends, but then when he's still asking me out and hoping I'll be his girlfriend soon. Then time went by. Then we went for summer break because we both are students. So obviously we're staying alone, things like that. So summer break came, I got my summer job. Then in the middle of like, I think 2 weeks in, then he's like, oh, I planned a trip to a different city. Do you mind if we go there? I'm like, but I'm working. I can't just leave work just like that. It's like, find an excuse. Make a plan because I've already paid for everything. So you can't just ditch me just like that. I'm like, but you could have at least communicated with me, you see? And let me know because like the consequences of just dropping work just like that. You need to put a notice a week or two before, just so when your pay comes and it comes as it is. You get it?
As it's supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then he somehow managed to convince me to like just drop it. And I did, which later on affected my pay because they took half of my pay because of that.
And when you're a student, that kind of money really hits, eh?
I know. Then I was like, all right, whatever. Then we went on a trip for like 4 days. Yeah, at a different city. Apparently everything was paid for. I just needed to take my clothes with me only. Then everything else was sorted. We get there. We are hungry, mind you. It was a 6 hours trip. We get there. Then we drop our bags at the hotel. Then he's like, okay, let's go out, grab some food. Then we come back and chill. We get to the restaurant or whatever we were eating at. Dude takes out his phone. He starts taking pictures. I'm hungry. I've been on a 6 hours trip. He starts taking pictures. I'm like, can we eat? Usually it's girls that do that.
You're taking pictures of the food here.
Of the food. and everything else. And I'm just there. I'm one person who doesn't like taking pictures of food and posting and whatever. But
Yeah.
usually it's we know that it's girls who usually like doing that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it got to a point whereby he just got frustrated and started snapping at me.
Mm-mm.
Like, why are you complaining? Can't you see what I'm doing? Right. So you just need to be patient. You need to chill. I'm gonna finish. Then I'm like, okay. So mind you, this is the first night.
Mm.
And we're fighting already.
Mm.
We get to the room, we're not even talking to each other. There's just this weird tension because me, I'm hungry. I wanted to eat.
Yeah,
And
of course,
then
yeah.
the nigga is busy taking pictures. And I'm also tired. I need to eat, go take a shower, then sleep.
Mm.
Then fine. We get over it. The following day goes by, third day, fourth day, we come back. It's all fun and games, it's all nice.
Mm.
And when I went there, I had like just done my hair.
Mm.
Like he paid for it because he was like, so what are you planning to do with your hair? I'm like, nothing. It's summer. I'm not even going to school, so it's really not a big deal. Why would I be stressing myself when it's this hot and I have to probably have braids on and stuff? Then he offered to pay for it. That was the first time he paid for my hair.
Mm. So this
Right?
guy he's done your hair, he's done the trip, he's kind
Yes.
of taking care of things financially so far.
For now, yeah.
Mm.
So far, he is. Then soon after the trip, we officially started dating.
Did anything happen on the trip?
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Obviously, did the date. We did have sex on the trip.
Okay, so this was,
Yeah,
and that was the first time that you guys also kissed.
it wasn't really the first time we were kissing, but then we had kissed before. But then I think like twice. It wasn't that deep. Just that.
Yeah.
Isn't there was the first attempt when I was drunk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see, that's what I had
Then
in my. That's what I registered in my head. That was an attempt,
yeah,
and then the
yeah,
next
it
time you
was an
reached out,
attempt.
you were drunk,
Then the
but you
next
just
time.
unblocked.
Yeah.
Mm.
Then we met actually before the trip, but then it wasn't that. Yeah, it was just that kiss. But then like the proper intimacy, it happened on the trip. There was like I think probably 3-4 months down the line. Right.
And is that what officially made you boyfriend and girlfriend?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what officially made us boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I had some ex-boyfriend issues before he came along, so he was just there. Like I ended up sharing some stuff with him, like, oh, my ex used to do this, my ex did this and that. You get it?
Okay.
Yeah, because at that point in time, he was a friend before we became
Yeah.
boyfriend and
Okay.
girlfriend.
Okay. Right. Gotcha.
Yeah, so I was like, we talking friend to friend.
Mm.
Then fast forward to his birthday. His birthday comes like isn't we went to the trip September, October, no, 2 months down the line. His birthday comes.
Mm.
Then I bought him stuff for his birthday. He told me, I like clothes from this shop, blah 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 blah. They actually have nice stuff. This is my favorite brand, blah blah blah. So I had to make sure that some of the money that I got from my summer job, I had to save it up just so I could get him whatever he wanted for his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously could not remove from my own pocket because obviously it will be allocated. Okay, this goes to my grocery, this goes to this and that. Things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then his birthday comes over. I get him whatever it is that he wanted. He invited his friends over. I bought food. I bought wine. It was like, my friend wants wine. We want food. I rushed to the closest restaurant, bought food, bought wine, then brought it home.
Mm.
Right. Then December, obviously, it's clubbing, stuff like that. Schools would have been closed. So Warlord has had this female friend. Apparently, this female friend was being called a school daughter.
School daughter?
Yeah. I don't know like what really happens between a school daughter and a school dad, or how the relationship begins and stuff. I really don't know.
So who
Right?
used to call a school daughter? Him or his friends? People around?
Him. he used to call this girl his school daughter. They were like, how is she your school daughter? It's like,
Yeah.
like I just take care of him when he needs anything concerning to take care of her when she needs anything concerning school.
Okay. It's just a creepy term, you know. It's just like, you know, it's something about that word
Brush
doesn't.
things off.
Yeah. Anyway.
Then I'm like, okay. So whenever we're going out, school daughter is always there. We go out clubbing, school daughter is always there. And when they're dancing, school daughter comfortably twigs around school dad.
Comfortably.
School dad being warlord. Yeah, let's say, okay, we're dancing with warlords. Then I get tired. Then I go and sit down. Yeah. Then
she would comfortably twerk on Warlord.
She'll be twerking and Warlord will be holding school daughter's waist just like that.
And you would be doing what? Just sitting and watching.
Watching, yeah.
And then after the night out, what would you say to him?
No, I confronted him several times. I'm like, dude, what you're doing is making me so uncomfortable. Right? Then he's like, oh, okay. I think this is important to mention because we're from two different countries.
Okay.
Like African countries.
So two different cultures already at play.
Yeah, exactly. So he's like, in my country, this is normal. It's not a big deal, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. But you need to understand that your woman is from a different culture. So probably in a country, this is not normal, right? And it's not. You cannot have a female friend twerking and you're holding her waist and all that shit when I'm just there, like sitting, watching all the thing happening. Then it kept continuing, like every time, to an extent that he was like, okay, you know what? I think it's safe to not take school daughter with me whenever we go out. I'm like, I think that's the best thing to do because you're making me feel uncomfortable. And imagine if another guy was to come and do that with me in front of you. How would that make you feel? It doesn't make sense. Then I'm like, okay, that's fine. Then he stopped inviting school daughter, but either way, school daughter would just show up because you see those events that were like probably one event for the weekend, one African event for the weekend. So obviously all Africans might possibly show up. Not all of them, but most of them, because it's one event on that weekend for Africans. Then I'm like, okay. Then school daughter is still in the picture, but then she only appears whenever we go out or whenever me and him fight. So whenever we have an argument, probably when we now sort out our shit, then we start talking again. Call log, it'll be school daughter. Messages, it'll be school daughter. So I'm like, okay. Let me just keep my cool. She's just a school daughter, nothing much. Then I've got this male friend of mine. We've been friends like ever since we got into this country. Yeah. We got to this country, yeah. So we're quite close. Then his birthday comes up soon after his birthday. Then he invites me. So I wasn't feeling well on that particular week. I had flu. Then he invites me to his birthday. So usually people, when they do these things, they were like, okay, just come over. I'm having probably a birthday lunch or birthday dinner. Then you pay for your own food. Okay. Yeah. You pay for your own food. So I go there. Before I even went, I told him like probably in the morning. I'm like, oh, isn't you know my friend? Let me give him a name. Okay, let me call him Junior. I'm like, oh, you know Junior. So he's having a birthday dinner. So he invited me. So I want to go. He's like, but you're not feeling well. I'm like, yeah, but then it's not the dip. I can just go for probably an hour, then come back home. So he's like, okay. Then he goes to drop me off when it was time for the dinner. I get there. Then it's all packed. We're struggling to like find a proper place to sit as a group. So it took us like probably 30 minutes before we even placed our order and like get a proper place to sit. 45 minutes later, mind you, we just ordered our food. It hasn't even came because we couldn't find a place to sit and everything. Warlord calls me. I thought you said you're only going to stay there an hour. What are you still doing? And you do know that you're not feeling well. I'm like, I haven't even eaten. I just ordered the food. He's like, it's almost an hour though. You should be making your way out. You should be
but this
leaving.
guy has ever been to a restaurant? Do you know what I mean? But by the
He
time
has,
you've sat
obviously.
down, you've had your drinks order, you've had the drinks, and the starters are coming. It's already gonna be 1 hour.
He's like, you said you're going to stay for 1 hour. So what are you still doing? You should be making your way home right now. I'm like, dude, it's you who dropped me off. You know where I am. And it's not like you called me and I did not pick up. He gets angry. He's like, oh, I have a feeling your ex-boyfriend is there. That's why you even went to that thing. And then why didn't you take me with you when you were going? I was like, why didn't I take you with me? I mean, like, I also got an invite. Why should I bring a plus one? Because I was never told to bring one. And mind you, it's just a small birthday dinner. It's like, I think there were like 10 people, like his close, intimate friends. So imagine I have to bring a plus one. Who is my boyfriend? Not that there was anything to hide, but I mean, like, it doesn't make sense. He knows where I am. He's the one who dropped me off. He can call me anytime. Tinto, I lost my appetite because he was literally shouting, telling me, switch to video call. I want to see who you're with.
No.
I'm telling you, switch to video call. I think your ex-boyfriend is even there.
Did you switch to video call then?
I did.
For the sake of peace?
I did switch for the sake of peace. And then he's like, I know you're probably hiding. You probably stood up from where other guys are, and then you came here just so I could feel like there's no other boys, whatever, stuff like that. I'm like, dude, it's a boys' birthday dinner, for crying out loud. You obviously invited his other male friends, but it's you who brought me here. It's like the fact that you did not take me along with you, then that's a problem. You have something to hide. Then I was like, you know what, let me just come back home. I had ordered the food already. My order came. Then I was like, you know what, dude, it's all right. Whoever hasn't bought food, just give them this. Me, I'm just going to go back home. Then I call a cab. Because he refused to come and pick me up. Because he's saying my ex is there. Blah, 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 blah.
For you, Halima, why were you... Okay, I know you said it was for the sake of peace that you did the video call. But why are you now going home? Leaving your friend?
I've lost my appetite and I'm just going to be bad company because already my head is just all over the place and I'm no longer in that mood. You get it? Because I'm like, you know what, let me not spoil my friend's day because you're obviously going to see that my friend is not okay anymore. So he's going to get concerned and all. Let me just say, oh, dude, you knew I've got flu already. So I just thought I should show up for a few minutes and go back home. Right? Then the same friend plays soccer. So he's like, they were playing like at this football pitch close to my house. And he's like, you can come over since you're always at home doing nothing. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll come. I'll definitely come. Then I call Warlord. We're actually talking like about something else. And he's like, then I'm like, Junior is having a soccer match, like just close to my house, like literally 5 minutes walking. So I'm just going to go since I'm at home. I'm doing nothing. Then he's like, okay. Then I go. Before I even get there, he's calling with video call. Then I met these other girls that I know. So I'm trying to answer his call at the same time I'm greeting these girls. So I answered his call. Then I finished responding to that girl's greeting. Then he started snapping. I'm talking to you and you're talking to someone else. So this is you trying to hide who you're with at that soccer match.
The level of insecurity here is peak.
I'm like, dude, those people are just passing by. So what harm does it cause to just say, hi, how are you? I'm fine. How are you? Then they pass, then we continue. Then it's like, flip your camera right now. I want to see who it is. Probably you're lying. Maybe that girl was with another man, or you guys were in twos or whatever. So switch your camera right now. I want to see. Then I switch my camera, and those people have passed.
Halima, wait. By this time, you've clocked that this guy is insecure.
Mhm.
So why do you keep tapping into that insecurity by doing things that he's pretty much saying jump and just saying how high?
Yes, exactly that.
Why were you letting that happen?
Because the more you try to explain yourself, or the more you try to make him see the actual thing that's happening, you start being called names and stuff. So I was avoiding all that. You get it? Because every time I would try to explain myself whenever something happens, he'll start either calling me a manipulative liar, whatever the situation is, or he'll start saying, you're justifying yourself as usual, just so you could cover up your shit. So whatever it is that he wants, I'd rather just do it for the sake of peace and get over and done with it. Mhm. So he gets angry over that. The fact that I've switched my camera and there's no one. These girls have have walked away because they were on their way to this other mini shop close by to buy some snacks. So now it's an issue. He drops the call. I call back. He's now dropping my calls. I call back for the second time. He drops my call again. So we had a church thing that was happening. Like, what do you call that? What do you call that? Yeah, some church thing where you just go like on a Saturday, Holy Communion. Holy Communion.
Holy Communion,
Yeah. So we meant to go there like later that evening. The soccer thing was in the afternoon and the Holy Communion was at 6. Then he calls me. I ended up not going because I'm like, I'm obviously not okay. Like, after all that shouting and being called names and stuff, I seriously cannot go to church and eat the Holy Communion for whatever reason, right? And he goes, after shouting at me, talking to me like that, he goes to church, eats the Holy Communion. Soon after that, he calls me, why didn't you come to church? So it's because of that stupid match, that's why he didn't come. Kind of like, dude, I'm not you, right? I was told that whenever you know you probably sinned or not in a good state of mind, don't eat that thing. That's how I know that's how the Holy Communion works. You get it? Then he starts snapping again. So it's because of that soccer match. So you were still with those boys. That's why you didn't come. Blah 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 blah. Then I let it slide. I'm like, okay, it's just one of those days. Then he goes for 3 days without talking to me. He's angry because apparently I lied to him about the whole soccer match thing. I was with a man. That's why I flipped my camera and there was no one behind.
So why was he so convinced that there was always a man somewhere? Had you done something to make him feel that way, or this was him just being insecure and paranoid from the get-go because of his own issues?
I think he had his own issues that he was battling with, so it was somehow affecting me. Right? Then I'm like, okay. Then a few weeks down the line, I was at his house. Then he has a mall close by. Then I go to the mall. He actually left early for work. Like, his work is flexible. He can always come back home anytime. So he leaves for work. Then he leaves me at his house. Then I'm like, okay, I'm bored. I'm thinking of going to the mall, right? So should I take the keys with me, or you coming back soon? I should wait for you. Then he's like, just come back. Just go with the kids. Whenever I want to come back home, I'll let you know. But then I'm not coming back anytime soon. Then I'm like, all right. Then it's like 10 minutes walk. Yeah. Then I make my way there. As soon as I get there, before, like, I'm literally stepping into the door of the mall. He calls, where are you? I'm at the mall. Why? I need my keys.
Naimari.
But I just got here. I called you about 15 minutes ago because it's 10 minutes to the mall. Probably I called you 5 minutes before I left home. And I asked you, you said you're not coming back home soon. Then it's like, well, I've decided to come back. I need my house keys. Then I'm like, okay, it's all right. Let me bring them. Then he's like, anyways, don't worry. I'll I'll come and get them. Then I'm like, you know what? It's all right. Because right now, if I start doing my shopping and then you start calling me and asking me to come outside,
Yeah.
I don't want that. So let me
Yeah.
just come back home. It's only 10 minutes, give you the keys. Then I can always go back to the mall. I have the whole day. Because it was around, I think, 11, 12.
You know, this is obviously retrospective, so we can look back in time. Honestly, this guy is saying Simon jumping, just saying how high every single time.
That's true.
And I know you said at the beginning you're doing it because you didn't want problems, you didn't want, you just wanted peace.
Yeah.
But by now you've known that you will have no peace either way. It will just end up in some form of war or violence because it's warlord, by the way.
But the war that I get when I try to be obedient is better than the one that I get when I try to fight back or explain myself.
But it's war either way.
It's war, yeah.
So you were okay with war, but you just wanted a softer war.
Exactly. At this point in time, yeah, I was okay with the softer one, not the harsh one
So
that
you
will
also,
end up in grenades.
so you can't had a part to play too.
I did. I did.
Did you at any point, now that you look back, think or feel like I need to start putting my foot down here a little more? Or you were
It
so into him, you
was.
felt you didn't want to rock the boat?
Well, I did feel that way, but a few months later,
Okay.
at that point in time, I thought, okay, this is the best way to handle the situation. So I'm on the
Okay.
right track. I'm doing the right thing.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I rushed back to the house. Tinto. I stayed 2 hours waiting for someone who said, I want my keys. I want to come back home now.
By the end of half an hour, you should have left. So that he also
Mind you,
learns.
mind you,
So that he also
mind
learns
you,
that people's time is valuable.
mind you, when I got to the mall, like 10 minutes, like when I literally stepped into the mall, like 10 minutes walk from his house to the mall, he started calling, where are you? I want my keys. So I'm like, you know what? For the sake of peace, let me just give him his keys so that I do my shopping in peace.
Yeah.
2 hours passed. I'm still at his house, sitting there. He did not show up. And then he comes back, I think about 2 hours and a few minutes. He comes back, then he's like, why are you like this? I'm like, what do you mean by why am I like this? He's like, I told you to not bother, but then why did you come back anyway? I'm like, because you wanted your key, so I didn't want to inconvenience you. This
You
is your
see?
house. So he starts calling me names now. He's like, you know what? I noticed that sometimes you can be stupid.
Ah.
I'm like, what do you mean by I can be stupid? He's like, why would you even think of going to the mall when you came to see me at my house? I'm like, mind you, you left for work and I'm alone. So this is the best time to actually go and do my shopping because I won't bother you. Then when you're home, then that's when we get to spend time together. I cannot start wanting to go to the mall the moment you walk in back to the house. Because I'm here to see you. I'm here to spend time with you. So it only makes sense to go when you're not there. Then the argument kept going for like, I think 2 hours. Then at some point, I get called a witch. I'm like, okay, I get it. We're having an argument, but then how did it get that far? When did we get that far for you to start calling me a witch?
Yeah.
Then I walked out. I left his house. Then the nigga didn't even bother to call me to check if I went for anything. He just continued with his life. And then this is him getting angry over the fact that I left his house, just like that in the middle of an argument because he called me a witch and went back to my house.
Mm.
So now the problem is not about what he called me, it's about me walking out of his house during an argument.
Mm.
So I was supposed to stand there and be clapping, okay, you just called me a witch. It's all right, you can continue. That's what he wanted me to do. Or continue fighting or arguing with him.
Mm.
And I'm like, okay. Then I come back few days after.
Mm.
hmm Then he also went out for work as usual. Then he was like, can you cook for me? I'm like, okay, what do you want to eat? He's like, I want rice. I already have some stew and stuff in the fridge, so I'm just gonna warm that up. So can you just make rice for now?
Mm.
I'm like, okay, I cook that rice. Tinto, back home and then when you cook rice, you put salt, you put cooking oil.
Yes.
And I did exactly that.
Mm.
He comes home, first thing he comes, he opens the pot.
Mm.
And he's like, did you put cooking oil in this rice? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I did. Why? He's like, who told you I want cooking oil in my rice? I'm like, that's how I've always cooked rice for you. What do you mean by who told me you want cooking oil in your rice? Do you know what? He did not eat that rice. We threw it away. He's like, you should have asked. Next time, ask before doing things.
You've gotta be joking.
I'm telling you, we threw it away. It's like, why not ask? Why do things without asking? Why do things without consulting me? I'm like, the moment you gave me that instruction to cook rice, you should have said, do not put cooking oil inside my rice. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. He throws the rice away and cooks his own.
Okay, and how did you cook it? Were you watching?
No, I just left. As usual. When he started shouting me and shouting, I leave. But probably just put water and salt. And the other reason was like it's gonna mess up his taste buds, so I wasn't supposed to put cooking oil.
So the cooking oil is the one that's gonna mess up his taste buds, yeah?
So he says. I don't know how, but that's what he said.
Okay.
Then another incident where he asked me to cook. Like we're cooking what do you call it? Roadrunner chicken.
Oh, I love that
Yeah.
chicken.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love
It's
that
so
chicken.
nice.
So good.
It is. So he asked me to cook the chicken. So he was like, don't put too much water because I want to use the same water to cook my jollof rice. You get it?
Okay.
Then I'm like, okay, but then this chicken is frozen. So let me just put a lot of water for now, probably for a
Yeah.
few minutes. Then I'll drain it once it defrosts. Then he walks in like 2 minutes after I've just switched on the stove. Eating too. Is this how I taught you to cook my chicken?
Aye, boy. Aye.
I was like, as you can see, the chicken is frozen. So I'm trying to at least make it defrost first. Then I can drain the water to whichever level you want. We fought again. First, we fought that I put cooking oil in his rice. And now we are fighting because I put too much water than what he told me to. Mind you, he's not there. I'm the one who's cooking. So I'll cook whichever way makes me comfortable as long as he's still going to get the same result that he wants, right? Exactly. So that became another issue. We fought over that. And it resulted in him not talking to me for like he used to do that a lot. Like whenever he gets angry, he stops talking to me. He can go for 3 days, 4 days, 1 week. Then if I go back to him and be like, oh dude, hi, I'm just checking up on you. You haven't spoken to me in days. That's when we start over again. And then he's gonna act like nothing happened. He's gonna act like nothing happened, like we just okay. We are fine. Then fast forward to a time when I traveled.
Mm.
No, actually, before that, I was meant to go to this other country. So he has a car. So he's like, do you know what? I was going to drive you to this place because I'm not doing anything. But then I'm broke. So I need money for fuel if you want me to take you to that place. Mind you, this person is my man. But then he's making me
Mm.
pay for fuel. As if that
Mm.
was not enough, he brings someone. We're on our way to that city.
Mm.
He's like, oh, my friend is also coming with us. But then it's a male friend this time. My friend is also coming with us.
Okay, so there's a friend who's coming with us, but you're the one who's paying the fuel.
Yes, I'm the one who's paying for the fuel. And this friend has got luggage. He's relocating to the same city I'm going to.
Ah,
So we have to go and drop him off at his house. Me as the girlfriend, I have to cater for the fuel expenses.
I can't believe what I'm hearing today.
So I'm talking to this relative of mine that knows him. He's
Mm.
like, are you being for real? Are you telling me you pay your own boyfriend fuel money? And it's not like the city is like 2 hours away. The
Mm.
fuel is
Mm.
not that expensive for like the place that's like 2 hours away. But then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna pay. And
Mm.
just
Mm.
I gave him. Then the friend takes along. On the road we're buying food, this and that. Apparently now he has money. And then I think he somewhat forgot. Then he's like, you know what? The money you gave me for fuel, I even used it because I gave him an advance. I used that money for this and that. So it wasn't really meant for fuel. It was meant for him to cover his other expenses. He was somewhat short some way. Then I didn't even comment. I kept quiet. I'm like, okay, okay,
Mm.
okay. It's his car anyway. I'm just a passenger. So whatever the case, then I travel again to a different city.
Mm.
So as I am traveling, the school daughter apparently is also traveling.
Mm.
So on his way to come and drop me off at the bus station, apparently I'm taking the same bus as the school daughter.
Hmm.
So we're doing our goodbyes. Then in the like on our way there, he gets a call from a male friend. He picks the call, he puts on loudspeaker. Then he drops the call. Then school daughter calls.
Mm.
The phone is not put on loudspeaker for
Stand.
whatever reason. I
Mm.
don't know.
Mm.
Then it's like, oh, school daughter is also here. You guys are going to the same place. I'm like, so why are you talking to her and not putting your phone on loudspeaker when you were
Mm.
just talking to a male friend and putting
On
your phone on
loudspeaker.
loudspeaker?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm.
He's like, why does it matter?
Hmm.
Anyway, she's here, so you guys are gonna go together. We say our goodbyes, then I kiss him. He wipes my kiss. Like literally wipes his mouth in
Ah.
front of school daughter,
Listen,
mind you.
listen, Halima, man. Ay, 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 ay.
He wipes. I'm like, okay, why are you wiping your mouth? He's like, oh, your mouth has got closed, so I don't want going around. I don't want to go around with shiny lips. And I'm like, okay, okay. It's all
Mm.
right. It's all right. It's fine.
Mm. Mm.
Then I hug him and he goes. Same night. Apparently, school daughter was meant to go there for the afternoon and come back at night.
Mm.
So I traveled to this city. Actually, the following day, I traveled to this city. Then I get there. Then when I left, this guy had a toothache.
Mm.
He has a toothache. He can't do anything. He hasn't even been working. That's why he was able to take me to the bus station because I
Mm.
had to catch my flight in a different city.
Mm. Mm.
So he takes me and like, oh, I need to go home and refresh. I had gone to the shops to get some meat, so I need to go home and refresh. I'm going out.
Mm.
Like, what do you mean by you going out? Who are you going with? Oh, school daughter called me and said she's going out, so I decided to take along.
Mm.
I'm like, I thought you were sick. I thought you're not feeling well because this whole time before I traveled, I was nursing you. right? Because you're
Mm,
not feeling well. Like, you know how bad toothache
mm,
gets.
mm,
So I was busy nursing you to go out with a female friend.
mm,
So then I'm like, okay, you can go. That's fine.
mm,
I'm just now saying this on my own because he dropped the call on me.
mm,
hmm So he has dropped the call on me already. The whole night, I don't get a text from him. I don't get a phone call. Nothing until the
mm,
following morning. Then the following morning, I decide to go to this other girl's house. We're staying close by. So I'm like, okay, dude, you know what? I'm just going to go see that girl just for a few minutes.
mm, mm,
Then I come back. So I'm like, oh, give me just at least 5 minutes. Then I'll call you back because
mm,
I'm almost at this lady's house.
mm.
Exactly 5 minutes, he calls me with a video call shouting. So you think I'm stupid? Mind you, last night he went out with a female friend and I wasn't called. I wasn't
Mm,
texted. I never
mm,
had a single word from him. He's like, Halima, you
mm,
think I'm stupid? Hmm? What do you
mm,
take me for? You take me for a fool. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, slow down. What are you talking about?
mm,
He's like, you told me you called me after 5 minutes. Why haven't you called? What are you still doing there?
mm,
So you're going to this lady's house to gossip about me. I'm like, dude, can you just chill? You're calling me on a video call, and everyone else was sitting behind me is seeing you right now, and they're
mm,
listening to you.
mm,
He drops the call, and a few hours later, I had received a call that my grandfather passed away, right?
yeah.
And I told him. So right now, I'm just going to this girl's house to just be around someone because, mind you, I'm not even in the country, right? I traveled.
Yeah.
Then he's like, he drops the call right when I'm at that girl's house because I was like, dude, I'm with people. Can we talk later?
Mm,
Then I call him back. As soon as I leave that girl's house, he's now dropping my calls as
mm,
usual. When he gets angry, he stops talking to me.
mm,
He starts dropping my calls. Then he writes me a long ass message telling me how much messed up I am and how much of a manipulative liar I am. I got all sorts of insults that you can think of. Mind you, I'm trying to mourn my grandfather here. I just
mm,
lost someone.
yeah.
I'm away from everyone and everything. I get insults. I get insults. I'm like, dude, okay. Face in face, you don't even know this girl.
Mm,
So instead of you protecting me and not bringing out this picture in front of people, you busy like being all dramatic and everything. And I'm
mm,
mourning. You
mm.
can't even respect the fact that I'm mourning. He's like, do you think I care?
Ah.
What do you want people to see me as? These people don't even know me. So you're already giving them that picture that I'm a crazy person or what or what. And that girl actually made a comment. It's like, dude, your boyfriend, I don't know him, but what he just did right now is just
It's a bit much.
something
Yeah.
else.
Mm,
Since I couldn't even get the grief that I could have gotten at that time, like to mourn the loved one that I just lost, because
mm,
it
mm,
was insults after insults, this and that, blah 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 blah. Then I'm like, okay. Then few weeks down the line, I come back. The entire time I was there, it was fights after fights, fights after fights. This one night, he even called me. Like I was just on my way to the shops.
mm.
Then he calls me. I can't remember how the argument started, but then it ended up with him telling me how much of a messed up person I am and I need to go for counseling. Because he's like, you know what? I'm like, why is
Mm,
it every time when we're having an argument, you end up insulting me,
mm,
doing this and
mm,
that?
mm,
Then he's like, you know what? Because I know I'm always right. The only bad thing that I do to you is shouting at you, but as for everything else, I'm always right. It's you who's the problem in this relationship. You need to get yourself fixed. You need to get yourself checked. It's high time you go for counseling. This is him pointing out how much is always right and how much I'm always wrong, how much messed up I am. Because our fights had gotten to an extent where whenever we have an argument, if we don't insult each other, the fight does not end. If you say Lama, I have to say. That's how it ends.
Okay.
So it became normal. You get it?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I always wanted to fight back all the time. Like, okay, if you're saying sick, I can also say the same thing. If you say fuck you, I can also say it back. You get it? That kind of thing. Then I come back. This guy it brings me roses. This is whining into the relationship. He takes me home. As usual, we have an argument. First night.
Ish.
I just got back. I was away for a month. I just got back. We're having an argument. It was like really bad.
What was
So
the
much
argument
that
about?
those stupid petty things. Like, what was it about? What was it about? Oh, I can't really remember. But then we were talking about something. Then he started shouting. And I was like, dude, don't shout at me. That's when it all started. Yeah, don't tell me to not shout at you, blah, 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 things like that. Then it got to an extent whereby he started telling me that, you know what? Actually, you see, like when you're in a relationship, you buy each other stuff, things like that. He started telling me how much whenever I'm buying him clothes, I'm buying this just so I could end up controlling him, and I'm failing to control him. That's why I'm getting all bitter, and that's why I'm always fighting with him. Mind you, this is the same person that can hold a proper conversation without shouting. So he's like, you're buying all those stupid clothes for me to buy me and start controlling me, blah, blah, blah. Like, are you being for real? Then every time we have an argument, he would start posting stuff. People don't appreciate people that do things for them. People this and that. Or he start posting female friends, including school daughters. Then I'm like, Warlord, why is it every time me and you have an argument, you start posting stuff, or you start posting your female friends and stuff? Then we're like, Halima, how is that your problem? You don't even post me. Then I'm like, okay. And then I discovered that this nigga had dating sites.
Okay.
And he'll be talking to these grown ass women, texting them, exchanging numbers, this and that, blah blah blah. Then I'm like, okay. Then a few days down the line, we're at his house, we're drinking, we're having fun till like 12 midnight. Then we decide to sleep. So like 30 minutes later, I hear someone like forcefully holding me down. And I'm like, okay, what's happening? Mind you, Tinto, it's 12. I'm sleepy and I'm drunk. Someone is pressing me down on the bed. I'm all confused, like, what's happening? What's happening? And I'm like really feeling pain in my arms. This nigga is on top of me. He wants to have sex, but then I'm drunk. And I'm like half conscious because I'm already sleeping. You see how fast you doze off when you're drunk? So I eventually wake up probably after 5 minutes and I'm like, what are you doing? Then he stands up, switches on the light. I'm like, you don't want to have sex with me? I'm like, what do you mean by I don't want to have sex with you? Why are you forcefully holding me down the bed? Why are you pressing me like that? Because I even had a bit of some bruises. He's got a big body and stuff. So I'm like, so you're hitting me like this. It's so all this is just about sex, nothing else. He's like, it's not about sex. I thought you were unconscious. You thought I was unconscious, but then the first thing you did when you stood up was...
And okay, let's assume you were unconscious. But what was that statement meant to?
Exactly. I'm like, but the first thing you said when you stood up was, So you don't want to have sex with me. So this is about sex. It's not about me being unconscious. I mean, like, why would you be holding me like that and thinking I'm unconscious in the middle of the night? We just finished 2 bottles. So what do you expect? A few months down the line, not few months really, few weeks down the line, I lost someone else, like very close, like a parent. And then this nigga is not talking to me as usual. He's angry. That issue is still pending because I confronted him. Like, so in a way, you wanted to forcefully have sex with me without my consent. That's why you ended up getting angry and hitting me because I literally had bruises in my hand. So I tried talking to him about it. He ignored me. Then a few weeks down the line, I lost someone. And then he wasn't talking to me. It goes for like 5 days, mind you. Your girlfriend just lost someone. You can't even be humble enough to like come and say, okay, babe, I'm sorry for your loss, whatever, just to be there for her. He could not do that. Then 5 days down the line, 5, 6 days, yeah, apparently says, can I come to your house? Can I come see you? We talk about this. Then he comes. And then first thing when he gets to my house is like, why did you delay picking up your phone?
Man.
I'm like, what do you mean? Why did I delay picking up my phone? Because it's not like it rang several times and I answered later on, probably after 5 missed calls. I answered the first time you called. It's like, I didn't send you a text message when I was by your door. The text message was, hey, like, which was followed by a phone call a few seconds later. Then I'm like, dude, I answered your call anyway. I thought you were here to like at least show some remorse, cry with me since I just lost someone. It's like I don't have time to be showing some remorse for someone with such a behavior like yours. I'm like, are you seriously coming to my house to insult me? I thought you finally be like, okay, let me go and mourn with my girlfriend or something, whatever. He's like, no, I'm not here for that. Why are you not picking up your phone? Why did you delay? You answered, but then you delayed. You were supposed to answer the end as soon as I called, as soon as it rang. So this was now like a norm in this relationship. If I'm on a call, I cannot. Whenever he calls, I should drop that person's call. Even if it's my mom, I should drop that person's call. Because if I don't, then I have to start explaining myself and then send proof of screenshots to him.
Yeah, you know, man.
So if my mom calls him, he will be expecting me to drop my mom's call and take his. If I don't, he'll be like, Halima, who are you talking to? The same statement he did, the same thing he did when the first red flag that I got from him saying you're busy being available for people around when I'm calling you, you're not taking my calls. It keeps getting worse. So he expects me to even drop my mom's call. Because if I don't, she'll be like, send a screenshot, prove it that you were really talking to your mom. If I don't, she'll get angry again for 4 days, 1 week, not talking to me. So basically the whole relationship is, and mind you, I lost 2 people on the long run, 2 people that were very close to me. He didn't even try to be there for me or at least cry with me or anything. That's where we even fought the most. Then he'll keep blaming me. This one time I asked him, is like, I'm behaving the way I'm behaving because of you. It's your fault. So whatever action that I do, just blame yourself for it. Because if you weren't talking to me or behaving the way you're behaving, I wouldn't have been behaving like this. So my behavior is a result of your actions. If he wants something done, then it should be done without you questioning it, without you complaining or explaining yourself. Because every time we have an argument, I try to explain myself. People like, I'll be called names, all sorts of names you can think of. Because at one point I was called a witch. And I'm not allowed, in the entire relationship, I wasn't allowed to explain anything. Because he's always right.
Mm,
Mind you, he's always right. And whenever I try to explain, either I'm called a manipulative liar or I'm being told I'm justifying myself. Anything that I say to him, I'm
mm,
justifying myself.
mm, mm.
I'm justifying my actions. I'm trying to cover up my tracks. So it's always been that thing that if we have an argument, I have to apologize, even when I'm not wrong, because he told me point blank that he's never wrong. The only bad thing that he does to me is shout at me. But as for anything else, it's all my fault.
Ah, this is terrible.
So pretty much it was like the whole relationship and him forcing himself on me and then tells me that I thought you were unconscious.
Yeah, that for me is quite worrying.
And the insults, even today, people, like there's some things he said to me that I can just
Today.
I'm saying those things still affect me till
Oh
today
yeah. Oh
because
yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah.
by then I thought they were normal. I
Mm,
thought it became normal that okay, whenever we have an argument, we just have to start insult each other. That's how it ends.
mm,
I just got to a point whereby I was like, enough is enough. Because I started doing this thing, the same thing I was doing, that if he goes for 5 days without talking to me, I'll just do the same. Whenever he
mm,
decides to look for me, he will.
mm,
Then eventually I was like, you know what? I've suffered enough. I cannot anymore. I just cannot.
mm.
Especially the incident of him trying to force himself on me and
Yeah.
then blaming it on me.
Yeah.
And then or rather trying to make it seem like he was being all concerned, he cares, he thought I wasn't okay.
Mm,
That one was just a deal breaker for me because I was like, of all things, I mean, like, we get it, sex is important, but then it's not that important for you to force yourself on someone. Because I had bruises, I still have some of them till today. Because it ended up getting into something else. Because I ended up using force trying to push him, and he was also trying to pull himself, things like that. It was just something else. So, yeah.
mm, mm.
So it ended up getting to an extent whereby I just lost confidence in myself and I started to believe that I'm crazy, I'm not normal, because that's what you would say to me all the time.
Mm.
And it got to a point whereby if I have to choose you over my mom, then that's not it. No, it can't be
This guy had no respect for you whatsoever.
at all.
Zero respect for you, zero respect for your time, zero respect for anything you are about. Zero.
Exactly. Even when I doze off without telling him, it's another issue. Why didn't you tell me you're sleeping? So you think I'm not important? You go wherever you're going. I'm leaving home. I'm doing this. I'm doing dishes right now. I'm cooking. So you have to give him an update of your life, of everything that you're doing. If you don't,
Mm,
he gets angry. He stops talking to you. He starts
mm.
insulting you.
So are you the one who said I'm out, or he's the one who said he's out?
I'm the one who said because we just kept breaking things off and getting back together, breaking things off, getting back together. But then I got to a point whereby I was like, you know what? The more I keep going back, the more I keep getting damaged because now every fight has to lead to an insult or almost getting physical because that's what I'm starting to believe it's normal.
Mm,
So I was like, I'm damaging myself more than him. Yeah, I'll be thinking, okay, let me get my revenge. Resentment can poison a relationship.
mm,
I'm like, okay, you mistreated me, so I need you to feel it. I want you to feel what you made me feel. Instead, I was slowly becoming toxic and damaging myself.
mm. Well, at least you're here to tell the story. And I don't know, the thing that worries me is that forceful behavior, the constant control, the constant desire to be in charge, the constant need to be
All
right,
the time.
the
Yeah.
me, failing to look outside of what would look good for him and what would make him feel good, and also
Hmm.
this what school daughter thing. It doesn't sound
Even
like
even
it doesn't sound like you
today,
found anything, but nah.
they just have a way to probably obviously it's always like that when there's a side chick and she knows there's a main chick. Obviously, she'll try to play her cards right
Mm.
just so they don't get caught.
To stay in a lane is what she was doing most of the time.
Exactly. Because every time we have an argument, she gets posted. That's one time they even went on a picnic where we had an argument and he posted videos of them in the car
Yeah.
at the picnic. Something he's never done with me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I'll just play back those lessons. Number one is ignoring red flags because you want to see the good in people will cost you later. I don't know what good you're trying to see in this dude. Because, like you say, he was warlord from day one. I've not heard a single trace of good except for him taking you on an all expenses paid trip. And that's about it.
That was the first and the last time.
Yeah, I thought so.
It never happened again.
Thought so, which is why I'm just like I don't see no good in
Because the
warlord.
entire relationship of the one was buying clothes, buying gifts, and he still wouldn't appreciate
And
them.
also
tell
putting
them,
fuel in the car.
exactly, telling me I'm doing those things to control him.
Number two, if you don't have boundaries, you'll be demolished. You were absolutely brought down to smithereens with this one. Yeah. And then number three, there are limits to empathy and compassion. This guy didn't deserve any of those two in the first instance. He just seemed incapable of receiving what real empathy and compassion feel like. And then resentment can poison a relationship. I can get how resentment grew very, very quickly. It's just the length of time that you were in there. Maybe you need to try. I guess you were hoping that he would turn a leaf somewhere, and you're waiting for that leaf to turn, but he just never did. Because
I was,
the way he is just not. He's incapable of looking outwardly. And unfortunately. But hey, thanks for sharing that with me, Halima. You guys have been listening to another episode of The Feeling Station. I'm your host, Tinto, and I will catch you in next weekend's episode.
Tell me what you're feeling. Tell me what you're feeling. Now that it's over. Let me talk about my feelings. Let me talk about my feelings, yeah.
Rudoi motor noto kujidziro amai.
Kujidziro amai. Love is a fire.
Rudoi motor noto kujidziro amai.